Blessings, friends. It's Maia here with an Astro update. On July 24th, we have a new moon in the creative, confident, and flamboyant and warm sign of Leo at 2 degrees. Those of you who have planets in the fixed signs of Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, or planetary placements around 2 degrees, will likely feel the effects of this new moon the most. A new moon is when the sun and the moon are coupled together in the sky, creating a time for seed planting, manifestation, and new beginnings. With Leo being a fire sign, we may be experiencing passionate or driven new beginnings pertaining to matters of the heart. On a positive level, this lunation can be generous, loving, expressive, enthusiastic, bold, and courageous. On a challenging level, this lunation can be proud, stubborn, dogmatic, egoic, pompous, and dramatic. The ruler of this lunation is the sun, representing our core energy and vitality. The sun is currently in Leo in its domicile, showcasing an ease and natural flow to shine. We do have the sun and the moon forming a lovely fire trine to Saturn, the planet of structure and discipline, and Neptune, the planet of dreams and mysticism. Thus, we may find an effortless flow when it comes to grounding our dreams into reality, and finding an inner discipline to light ablaze our spiritual visions. Fire trines are a driven and creative energy. This one specifically can help create structures having to do with our imaginative pursuits for greater long-term Saturnian results. Mercury, the planet of the mind, intellect, and communication, is closely conjunct this new moon, and is also retrograde in Leo, showing that we may be reassessing matters of the heart at this time. Naturally, Mercury retrogrades are a great time for restructuring, revising, revamping, and redoing. With Mercury retrograde closely conjunct the new moon, be mindful that any new beginnings may require a bit of restructuring down the road. Or some of us may even be embarking on new beginnings that we've already thought of or hinted towards in the past. We also have this new moon exactly opposing Pluto, the planet of death, rebirth, and transformation. This can mean for new beginnings to form, there is a need for deep change and transformation before taking that leap into the unknown. What area of life will this new moon in Leo be happening for you based upon your rising sign? For Aries rising, this new moon will be happening in your 5th house. This could be a new beginning that requires restructuring, having to do with creativity, romance, dating, children, hobbies, joy, entertainment, and small businesses. For Taurus rising, this new moon will be happening in your 4th house. This could be a new beginning that requires restructuring, having to do with home, family, property, real estate, inner security, emotional safety, and ancestral tradition. For Gemini rising, this new moon will be happening in your 3rd house. This could be a new beginning that requires restructuring, having to do with communication, local community, local travel, neighborhood, transportation, short-form learning and writing, online content, and extended family. For Cancer rising, this new moon will be happening in your 2nd house. This could be a new beginning that requires restructuring, having to do with one's income, how you make money, savings, earnings, and spending, physical material possessions, personal resources, as well as self-worth and self-esteem. For Leo rising, this new moon is happening in your 1st house of you. This could be a new beginning that requires restructuring around yourself, your identity, your physical body, outward appearance, and new endeavors. For Virgo rising, this new moon will be happening in your 12th house. This could be a new beginning that requires restructuring, having to do with the hidden realms, behind-the-scenes work, spirituality, mysticism, self-undoings, jails and hospitals, but also retreats, ashrams, music, and the arts. For Libra rising, this new moon will be happening in your 11th house. This could be new beginnings that require restructuring, having to do with large groups of people, friendships, networks, organizations, progressive ideas, as well as future hopes and wishes. For Scorpio rising, this new moon will be happening in your 10th house. This could be new beginnings that require restructuring, having to do with one's career path, public image, status, leadership, authority, achievement, and notoriety. For Sagittarius rising, this new moon will be happening in your 9th house. This could be new beginnings that require restructuring, having to do with long-distance travel, higher learning, publishing and teaching, foreign affairs, religion, philosophy, pilgrimages, and gurus. For Capricorn rising, this new moon will be happening in your 8th house. This could be new beginnings that require restructuring, having to do with shared money and shared resources, other people's money, investments, inheritances, taxes, loans, psychology, the occult, and deep bonds. For Aquarius rising, this new moon will be happening in your 7th house. This could be new beginnings that require restructuring, having to do with personal relationships, business relationships, marriages, contracts, negotiations, agreements, collaborations, and legal documents. And last but not least, for Pisces rising, this new moon will be happening in your 6th house. This could be new beginnings that require restructuring, having to do with one's physical health and work, employment, coworkers, daily routine, diet, exercise, organization, as well as small pets and animals. new moon in Leo. Blessings to you all.